Hey guys, welcome to my studio again. In this particular video, I'm going to show you how to edit minimalist nature photography. So it's going to be very simple, very quick, and very beautiful. So without any further ado, let's jump right in. Before I jump right in, my methods are very simple and very basic, which means that no matter what kind of software you have, you should be able to follow exact same way I do. So you don't need to spend too much time on special plugins. I mean, if you have it, feel free to use it, but I don't. I necessarily don't need to. Let's keep that in mind. Welcome to my studio at home. Now, before I start editing this particular photograph, I like to insist a few things. One, it's awesome when you take your time while you're taking the photograph, because you have to work really less in post-production. And tips number two is look for shapes, because shapes kind of give a really good character in photograph. This particular photograph, for example, you can put it in different category: minimalist photograph, or nature photography, or abstract kind of photography. You can also make this photograph black and white, or you can turn this photograph into color. You can do many things with just one simple photograph like that, because when you have an idea beginning of taking a photograph, less you have to worry about. Let's jump into this edit. What I'm going to do, as you know already, first thing I like to do is to make sure all my lens corrections are done. Because it's taken with Fuji, I don't need to work too much. It's already done in camera. Although I like to work on my chromatic aberration, because I think personally around the head I have a bit of chromatic aberration. Generally no, because Fuji lenses are phenomenal. Now also, while we are at it, if you're using different photograph, different camera, and different software, the workflow remains exactly the same, because all my tools are very classic and should be available in every single software. Now, another thing I like to do, I think my horizons are not straight enough. So I need to fix them. So I'm going to do that right now. Make sure they're well aligned up. Generally, if I release it, it should give me a good result. There you go. I think it's good enough. Now, because it's a minimalist photograph, the best format, I believe, is the square format. So I'm going to make it nice and square. You don't necessarily have to be perfectly square, but as square as possible. So I'm gonna turn on my crop tool and fairly square. And I would like to crop a little bit from the top, because I think for a minimalist photograph, this is a way too much space. Right about there is fine. Then I think that's fine. Now we have done the crop. Now I like to think about white balance. Is my white balance good enough? Is that exactly what I want? I think I'm happy with my result, my white balance. I don't want to change it a little too much. Although I like to go to my color, because it's Fuji, so I like to take advantage of my Fuji film simulations. They're amazing. Then probably film neg standard. Film neg standard, if you're not a Fuji user, if you're using something else with almost similar type of photography, that's the most neutral one available in Fuji, and it gives a really nice calm film look without having to use any kind of preset. So I'm done. It's square. The white balance is done. Color is done. Now I'm going to go to the sharpening and noise reduction. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my default mode. So default mode in SilkyPix Developer Studio generally analyze the raw file, and then it applies the sharpening and noise reduction what it believes should be. I personally believe SilkyPix Developer Studio Pro's noise reduction and sharpening, because they work with basically all the Japanese manufacturers directly, and they know exactly what they're doing. But that being said, if you're using Darktable, Raw Therapy, Adobe Capture One, DxO, they all are amazing and have their reputation on their own. So I don't want you to worry about it too much. But make sure you're not over sharpening. You're not using noise reduction too much, because warp sharpening make the photo look really bad, and noise reduction, overuse of noise reduction, makes the photo really soft. You will lose detail. This one, on the other hand, nice, sharp, beautiful. It's fantastic. Now you can tell by the histogram that it's way toward right hand side. Yes, but generally speaking, I would bring it back. In this particular photo, I like exactly the way it is, because it's all about shape and feeling, less about technical perfection. And I like this photograph to be printed on my wall. So this is the type of photograph that we are looking at. And the final thing I like to finish with by bringing back my demosaic sharpening. So if you don't understand what is demosaic sharpening, SilkyPix Developer allows you to add the pre-sharpening, which is recommended for raw photo editing. Lightroom Capture One or DxO have their own algorithm and they all do their own way, and most likely they're going to add it automatically on their own. While the Silky PC Developer Studio Pro, you can choose whether or not you want to add more or less demosaic sharpening. I think raw therapy has the similar type of option if I wrote somewhere. Those who are using raw therapy, let me know in the comment section below if it's true or not. Now we are done. I'm happy with the overall result. The final thing I personally like to do, because this time I'm not going to take it over to Affinity Photo to do further retouching, I would like to add as much contrast as I can from here. So in order to do that, I would like to add a little bit of clarity, never too much. Just a touch, and just a little bit of dehaze. Dehaze is a good way to add a bit of contrast. We are looking good. I think this editing can stop here. I think I've done enough editing on this beautiful photograph. Now we're going to see the result in 3, 2, 1. I hope this video has been very helpful to you. I hope you learned something out of it. If you do, please like and subscribe, and head down to the description if you want to know further, and if you want to support me by purchasing my art in the link description below. Until next time, look after yourself. Bye bye.